Hi there, this is just an upload of an interview I did with the voice actor James Alexander back in January last year as part of my university final project. It just seemed worthwhile to put it somewhere where people can watch it if they want. I'll put a link to the article I wrote based on this interview in the description, so you can give that a read if you want. I can't thank James enough for his time. It was really wonderful to be able to talk to him. And yeah, just hope anyone watching enjoys, really. How's your day been, first of all?
Yeah, it's all right to be fair. We've got a baby. We've got a 13-month-old, so we've been
Oh
just
God.
out shopping, doing the adult things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we did buy a Pikachu toasty maker though, so yeah, still
That's a very worthwhile investment. Uh,
very adult purchase, very
yeah,
mature.
I mean, one use, it's already paying for itself.
Yeah. So we enjoyed some Pikachu roasted sandwiches earlier, and
Mm,
that's it. To be honest, very interesting life I lead
mhm,
sometimes.
mhm.
So yeah.
With a young one like that, have you already had the thought of, you know, as soon as they become aware of what you do, the kind of the bar for bedtime stories and the like
Yeah,
is
I've sat there and I'm like, how am I gonna do all these different voices? Because like I'm
mm,
sure I have it in me, but
yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
spot, the pressure, because I know at some point you'll be like, Daddy, that sounds like this character, and I'm like, oh, I failed her. I
Well,
failed her.
you're a toddler. How can you recall
Yeah.
this information?
Yeah, it's that's how it is. So,
Although I
but
do
no,
suppose when it comes to, them talking about what their parents do, you're probably in the running for, as cool jobs go.
yeah, maybe,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah,
Providing I'm still getting work at that point, I haven't like ruined my
yeah,
career through some massive,
yeah,
some sort
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, obviously it'd be really cool to have, but also the pressure.
Mm.
Your dad's the worst character in that game. I'm like,
Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah,
that 6-year-old's correct. I am the worst character.
just the easiest way to get
Yeah,
to them. Just like,
yeah,
I didn't like your dad in this personally. It's
yeah, and
like,
I'd be
what do
like,
you
why not? Ask them
mean?
why. Why they don't like me? What
Yeah,
was it?
yeah. Feedback. I need feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got to learn to take the
Mm.
criticism. Got to
Mhm.
learn. How's
Mhm.
your day been, Sam?
Yeah, no, it's been fine, thank you. It's just really, I mean, it's I'm a uni student, so my
Yeah,
schedule is nothing if not almost ludicrously clear
yeah.
at the moment.
Mate, I've been there. I know
Yeah,
exactly what it's like.
you know,
It's I know what it's like.
when it's like when there are genuinely days where I'm complaining because I have to be somewhere at 9:15.
It's
It's like, what am I complaining about?
yeah. You don't realize how good you've got it, man.
No, this is the thing. It's the last semester of third year, and then it's actually the real world, which is
Yeah, which
yeah,
like it
mm,
depends how it goes. Everyone hits the
yeah,
real world in different ways.
that's
So
yeah, yeah.
you just gotta keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep
Cheers.
chasing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Can't thank
Mate,
you
thank
enough.
you. Thank you for reaching out, man. It's very kind of you, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But I suppose to kind of get right into it and
Yeah.
start from the beginning, um, where did the kind of the push to acting come from? Was it always there? Did you find that it kind of developed later on, or?
Well, yeah, like it's always been something I've been interested in. I've always been like, I guess you'd say like a theatrical
Hmm.
child.
Hmm.
Like growing up, like I watched my dad used to show me a lot of horror films, like the old like the classic horror films, like the black and white Dracula and Creature from the Black Lagoon. I always found myself like mimicking bits
Hmm.
from that. And then as I got into playing games like Medieval and like Crash Bandicoot and stuff, like there's
Hmm.
voices in that I've mimicking, and then like Lord of the Rings a bit when I was a bit older, like Gollum and all that, and I've always kind of followed that. And whenever there was like plays at school, I'd always get involved somehow. Like it's
Hmm.
weird because like I was confident enough to be like, I want to be in a stage play, but I'd be like,
Yeah,
I don't want to be main role. I'll just be at the side.
sure. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
and it's kind of like grown from that. Like it's this weird, constant confidence, but also lacking
Mhm.
confidence to be involved
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I've always enjoyed doing it. Like it's always been a part. I did into like sixth form at school. So like year 12 and 13, I studied like A level drama, and that was it. I left for uni, still interested in it, but I went to like I did broadcasts instead,
Yeah.
so I did like radio. So
Hmm.
that's where the voice stuff kind of started to seep in a bit. So yeah, I pursued radio for a little bit, did student radio, and then left uni, and then just kind of didn't do anything altogether. Like I worked at Aldi, the supermarket, for five and a
Hmm.
half years. About halfway through that, I was like, I need to
Mm.
scratch an itch somewhere
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm just this is all I'm doing. And then that's where the voice actor. So I was like, maybe I could try and do it. It wasn't like I'm gonna get into it and do all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
It was very
Was
much
it
like,
more of a I'll start it as a hobby rather
yeah,
than I'm gonna go
exactly.
and be
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like, how cool would it be to do stuff like
Mm.
this? And you did the basic kind of, figuring it out, and then it just kind of grew from there. It's been surreal to see
Yeah.
what I've done. I still don't quite believe it, to be honest with you, but
Mm.
it is what it is.
So when you kind of you make that decision to like, right, there's an itch that needs scratching,
Mm,
I want to do this.
yeah,
What is the first step? Because
yeah, and that's a great question, because it's like, with acting, it's anyone can one day just be like, I'm going to pursue acting
Mm.
today, as they have the right to, and with like voice acting, I was like, so obviously I need to show what I can do. So
Mhm.
there's a few good places online you can go to kind of see. I think there's actually a website set up now by, I think it's D Bradley Baker, who's an American voice actor, who I think he's
Oh,
just like,
he's
yeah,
every clone trooper.
you've heard the name
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
voice of D Bradley Baker. So I think he's
Yeah.
done a website called I Want to Be a Voice Actor. So that's a good way to start.
Mhm.
But I didn't know about that at the time. So basically I looked up a few places, people who give you information, because some people are very like, oh, I had to go through the trenches, so I'm not telling you. You got to
Cool.
figure out yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
But a few people were like, you need to get like a basic reel recorded. So yeah, that's just like characters you can do in like a minute,
Hmm.
2 minutes, just like a quick showcase. And obviously I got to record that somehow. So I bought like a very basic microphone,
Yeah.
just I could afford at the time. And it was like the middle of summer, so I was like, I'm going to record this in my bedroom under a duvet. Great idea.
Hmm.
I suffered for it, but yeah, we
Yeah.
recorded.
Yeah.
So it's, I guess, to answer your question, Sam, shortly, it's about getting like essentially a basic profile of yourself set up online,
Hmm.
finding the reputable websites that you can kind of,
Sure.
put your stuff on there, and then you just start applying for stuff where you can. Twitter was really good for finding like people, because obviously you don't start and go, right, get me in, Ubisoft's latest game,
Yeah.
get me in,
Sure.
like Naughty Dog's games. It's all about, I guess, like building your own skills as well, because like whether you've trained or not, you've got to figure out how to navigate it.
Mm.
So it's basically about getting yourself set up in the right way, and then just putting the feelers out there,
Mm.
basically.
Do you remember what the kind of the first, because I read in the BBC article it talked about how
Yes.
you started with, putting auditions out for the casting calls and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember what the kind of the first one you sent out for was and the first one you got?
Yeah, I do remember that. So one of the first ones I actually did get, and it's that's obviously like, rare. You
Mm.
don't book everything you apply for,
Sure.
unfortunately. But it was a game called it was actually two. There was a game called Wolverblade. It was like it's a hack and slash game based in Roman Britain,
Nice.
and they sent out, it was through Facebook of all places. I got my
Okay.
first, yeah, again, like, you never know, you're gonna find work sometimes. And at the time I was just rearing to get into something,
Mm.
so they had all these characters, and I always like to throw myself into as many characters I think I can perform. And I did an audition, and most audition tapes are between like 30 seconds to 3 minutes, depending on
Hmm.
how much is in there. I sent off a 13-minute audition.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
bear in mind, people have got to listen to
Yeah,
this
yeah,
among everyone else, So I messaged the guy and I was like, listen, I don't know if 30 minutes is normal. And he was like, listen, no one's going to listen to a 30-minute audition tape. You got to cut it down. So I cut it down and got it to like 3 minutes, after much
yeah.
deliberation. And I sent it off. And then I got like a few weeks later, because again, you will hear responses either never, weeks later, months later, sometimes
Sure.
years later. And I eventually heard back, and they're like, I'd love for you to come in for some boss characters and stuff. So we did that. And another one I did was through Facebook as well, and that was it was a game called Oh, I've forgotten what it's called now. It's like one of the first things I did, but it was an indie game, and I feel really bad for forgetting what it is now. I know I'll remember as soon as I stop talking about it. But I was the voice. It was like an audio, like a visual
Right.
audio book. I was the voice of this assassin called Jay, and he was like, it's very like grumpy, very bass. Oh, it's called Alex. It was called Alex. It was
Oh,
called
there you
Alex.
go.
Yeah. And I did that, and that was really cool. But the first thing I did audition for, actually, now I remember, it was a game called We Happy Few.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is this character that like this man with like I think he has like, the mental brain of a child, but he's obviously like a 30-year-old man. And we did that, but I didn't receive the script for it, and I thought that was kind of normal. It was
Oh,
like, oh,
right.
we want to see what you can do, you know.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay. So I wrote all these lines and stuff, and I sent it off, and they were like, so we didn't. These aren't the lines. Yeah, we didn't send you the script. Sorry, that was our fault. And I was like, oh, okay. So but I didn't get
Yeah,
it. But it was a good exercise in
yeah,
character
yeah.
stuff. So yeah.
So once you're kind of, how does it go from sending them off yourself to getting in at an agency? And
Yeah,
is that another case of putting together what you've done and sending that to them?
absolutely. Yeah, like I applied for agents numerous times before I finally got one, and my personal experiences, all the responses I got was, "This is nice, but unfortunately, we don't have space
Sure.
for you." Which is again, rejection is a massive part of the
Hmm.
business,
Hmm.
and so that's what I did. I got together what I'd done so far, but also sent off my other reel I recorded with like other characters just to show like versatility and range.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and whatever. And send that off, and you might have an interview, and it doesn't work out, but that is more or less it. It's a massive case of like recording and going, wow, I did a brilliant job on that.
Mm.
That's gonna get me a job. Then you send it off and you hear nothing because
Yeah.
that is the way it is. But ultimately, what I kind of thank for getting me an agent was my work on Formula One, the Formula One games,
Yeah.
because it was kind of like a known kind of
Mm.
IP. Like most people have heard of
Yeah.
Formula One, whether you're interested or not.
Sure.
So that's kind of when it happened. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. It's a case of getting what together you've done and sending it out there.
Fantastic. Do you and once you had the agent or the agency, what was kind of the first thing that came through them for you? Do you remember?
Oh, I think I do actually. So let me think back. I'm going to double check just to make sure I get this information correctly. But yes, so like I don't know how like usually it works for most people when they get agents. Like they could either get with an agent and then hear back weeks later with something. For me, it was quite sudden. I
Hmm.
heard back quite soon after. Oh, it was actually quite a big one. It was one I think I was very excited to apply for. Here we are, yeah. So my first like audition was a Warhammer 40,000 Darktide.
Oh,
Now
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now I'm a fan of Warhammer. It's
Hmm.
been something
Same
I've always
here.
kind of yeah. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when you know what you're applying for, the pressure's so much
I was gonna
worse. You're
say,
like,
yeah,
I've got to
because
get it right. Yeah. So we had like the audition packs come through because odds are you'll either apply for one character or it depends how many they send you in the brief. So I was like, first job, got to book it, got to
yeah,
impress the agent.
yeah,
So and did the obviously the voice of the character I had at the male, the Judge Zealot, which is massive,
yeah.
incredible role to have.
Yeah.
Like personally, it's just been
Could I just ask about it? Because having heard it, that doesn't
yeah.
that doesn't sound like a voice that is particularly kind of easy to maintain, or is that the trick of it that it actually
Funny
is?
you should mention that, Sam.
Yeah.
It has been one of the most like I'd say it's one of the most intense voices I'd done up
Hmm.
to that point, but also because of how much dialogue's required in Warhammer, because like it's the game is constantly, running, shooting,
Yeah.
help me.
Yeah.
So
There's
so
not a
like
lot of downtime.
yeah, exactly. And then when they're like, can you make it quiet? You'd be like this,
Mhm.
so and
Scream quietly.
okay.
Yeah.
so so yeah, like luckily because they're aware of how kind of vocally straining it was,
Hmm.
the sessions would only be about 1 hour, 2 hours at
Sure.
max. So you'd
Sure.
have and when I was recording Warhammer, I was also recording Company of Heroes, which again is
Yeah.
over there, go,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I was
Lots
like,
of grenades.
help
Yeah.
me, so but no, like, it's all about kind of vocal health and making sure
Hmm.
you're doing what you can to take care of your voice. It's also about knowing kind of your limits. Like
Sure.
I knew I could do the voice in Warhammer, but I think from doing it so long, my voice has become a bit more acclimatized. And my wife said my voice got deeper after doing
Right.
Warhammer,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
I just became a man. Warhammer
Yeah.
made me a man. So
As it
um
does for so many,
yes, so
for so
many,
many. You know.
so manly but so poorer.
Yeah.
Financially, I mean.
Oh
Um,
God. Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, a great question. It was more a case of just kind of like knowing how far to push your voice because funny story, the first session I did for Warhammer 40k Dark Tide, full title, I actually broke the microphone from
Oh.
shouting,
Well,
and
there you go.
it's become this running joke now that I can scream so loud I can just break microphones. But so definitely feel bad about doing that. But
Hmm.
no, it's good. Some voices, it's about knowing like pushing yourself, but to a point where it's not you're gonna because if you show up to a job and you can't do the voice,
Hmm.
it just makes you look bad. Like
Yeah.
you've shown up under the pretense you're going to deliver this character,
Hmm.
and then if you're like, I can't do it anymore after like 5 minutes, it's
Yeah. It's like great. Yeah.
it's a it's a pain in the
Hmm.
backside for everyone. So
Yeah. One question I did have just about kind of like showing up on the pretense you can do it. I was just
yeah,
wondering how, because I've always been curious with, for example, on your acting page, it lists accents.
yes,
And I was
yes,
I was wondering if that is like, say you've got listed you can do a Scandinavian accent.
yes.
Like, is anyone ever like, well, we're gonna have you do it in front of a Scandinavian man and they'll verify it? Or is it just kind of, is it like when an actor says like, I can ride a horse,
Yeah,
and then
Eddie
kind of,
Redmayne did that. I think. I think he
yeah,
said that, and he got called out for it.
yeah, or is it
Um,
just kind of a sort of like fake it till you make it kind of?
that's the golden rule, Sam. Yeah.
Mhm.
So so the key is like if you can do the accent, say you can do the accent. Like there's gonna be
Mhm.
accents you are better at, I think, than others.
Sure.
And like I've never been in a situation where they've gone, right, we've got this Italian man who's gonna make sure your Italian's good.
Yeah.
Because then you'd be like, oh, I'm pretty sick all of a sudden. And he spent a
Oh.
week trying to perfect the Italian
Mm.
accent. But look, I think because like usually you're not the only actor, they want to get all this stuff done as quickly as
Sure.
possible, as seamlessly as possible. So they're like, you say you do the accent, you can do the accent,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah, yeah,
you go in
yeah.
and like luckily I've never been in a position to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't actually do this accent. Like it's just like I did an Australian accent for a game called Iyuden Chronicle is one of the accents I did. And at that point I'd used it before, but
Mhm.
it had been quite a while. So luckily
Sure.
the director was like, just to remember your H is going like hell,
Sure.
hell, kind of. So like it
Yeah.
helped with the rest of it. So luckily, if there's a difference between just tying up the accent there and just
Mhm.
like I doing my I can't do the accent very well
Yeah.
going into
Yeah.
like that. So it's about making sure that like you said, fake it till you make it, but you've got to have some base
Yeah.
understand
It can't.
and willingness to kind of improve the accent. Like
Yeah.
just because you aren't working doesn't mean you can't work on yourself. Like
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
can't do a Welsh accent, maybe try and learn. Stuff like
Sure.
that. So
And just to when how far into, because is it 7, 8 years you've been doing it now?
yeah, it's 7, maybe coming to 8 years now. So I think I started in 2017.
Mm.
So yeah, 7 or 8 years, maybe
Mm.
2016. Because my IMDb credits say I started earlier than I actually did because
Oh, okay.
the game had come out already. I think it was Fractured Space, but I joined a DLC later in the lifespan.
Right.
So when I
Right.
say it, people are like, "He's lying." It's like, no, I'm not. It's just how it was. So,
IMDb,
um,
not me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm being honest. But yeah, it's. I'm gonna ask what was the question again? Sorry, I got
I was
sidetracked.
just going to ask, how far into that
Oh yes,
time
sorry, yeah.
frame was it that you kind of, when did you get an agent? When was the
That's
first
yeah.
role?
So I think this year has been my 4th year with my agent. So the first 4 or 5 years, I was you know, um, just like most of the people, just winging it, looking for opportunities,
Mm.
networking, just trying to work on my skills as an actor
Mhm.
because there's like because as I've said before, like I've never went to drama school or anything like that. my acting skills comes from watching games and films and
Sure, sure.
like the real world is my lessons, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All the
And
hard knocks. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's all about kind of just figuring out like what's your niche as an actor.
Hmm.
Like I've learned that kind of the deep voice
Hmm.
is what I get hired for a lot,
Sure.
which is fine. You know, I'm glad I'm getting hired for it.
Yeah.
And you know, and but it's also about kind of figuring out what your
Mm,
weaknesses are, what could you improve on, what your
sure.
strengths. And it's just been about like that endless. Like I imagine most actors will say like like you get an audition for it, you have 10 voices in mind, and you can only send off two, and
Sure.
like what's gonna get me the
Yeah,
job,
yeah.
you know? So it's really difficult, but it's also I think one important thing for any actor out there is just because you've got an agent doesn't mean you stop looking for work yourself.
Sure.
Because, like your agent can work wonders for you, but they can't,
Mm,
always get something for you. So
yeah.
reach out to people, just say you love your work. If you're ever, it's not like give me a job. You just say, if you ever
Sure.
are casting, I'd love to be considered.
Yeah, yeah.
And the email may never get read, but it's better
You
to take
might
a
as well
shot.
send it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
mate. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like I have a kind of a say a policy, a rule. It's called the 3 Ps. It's like practice,
Hmm.
be professional, and be patient as well.
Sure,
Because it's
sure.
like the first 4 years, especially 5 years, like it was like one job every 2 months, if that. Like there
Mm,
was long periods where I was like, and I still get this because of imposter syndrome. It's like, oh, should I do this anymore? I'm
sure.
clearly not cut out for this, So
Yeah.
it's just yeah, but yeah.
I was gonna say, was there a point in the early stages where you were ever like, what am I doing? Like
Yeah,
this isn't gonna
absolutely,
happen.
man. Like,
Yeah,
I'd say it still happens to be honest, because
sure,
I'm just
yeah.
like I remember, because like you can go for like a long period without any work, and you're like, well, that's it, isn't it? Like, I'm just
Mm,
not doing it. And like, I even spoke to my wife about it. We were like, if I hit to this point and like it's not kind of working, because it's a
mm,
big commitment, it takes up a lot of
sure.
time because you travel to London for work and then you're at home doing auditions as well. So you
Mm,
are, essentially, it takes up a lot of time if you're
yeah,
getting, not to complain about getting auditions, obviously, because it's lovely that
sure.
they come in, you know. And yeah, there's been a few moments where I've been like, what if like is this worth it? Because I'm getting
Mm,
so stressed out about getting work. Is it worth it? And it always is, because you sit down, you see what you've done, what you've been in,
mm,
even the smallest thing. I'm not talking about, oh, I was in this big game, so it's amazing. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
you see your voice like in the first thing you ever did, and all the opportunities you've had since then. It's like, it is worth it.
Mm,
It's just hard along the way. When your brain's constantly saying to you, you're not good enough for the job. It's like,
yeah,
ah,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I remember once I think I left a session of Warhammer. I think it's like my last session for it, for like that block.
Hmm.
I was like, I might just call it quits now. I've done that. That's that, and throughout the entire day, I was like seriously considering. I don't know why. Nothing
Sure.
happened. It was like a really bad session or
Yeah.
anything like that. I was just like, yeah, I've done Warhammer. That's really cool. May as well leave it there.
Mm,
But obviously, that did not happen.
no, no. So just to double check, how far into this, when did it become profession
Yeah.
rather than this thing you were pursuing alongside other things? When was it like, this is what my job is?
Yeah. So in terms of it being the only job I've been doing, it's been since October last year,
Okay.
because I had a lot of work on. That doesn't mean I'm going to be consistently busy either, because now I've got the fear of like, this is all I'm doing. Please
Yeah.
have some work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you kind of got that independence almost, like I was using, because at the same time I was working as I was an office administrator for a storage company. That was a nice kind of like backup job. It's like, oh, no work this week. It's okay. I've got that work.
Sure.
And also, I was doing like a teaching drama to kids as well on the weekend. So, but then they both, disappeared, and now it's just this. And I think it's a case of So in terms of like personally full time, October last year, October 2024, but also it's been about, I'd say, 2 years of like quite consistent work, but the last half of 2024 was very busy.
Sure.
Like, and that's also like comes with its downside. It's like I've been treated to like lots of work coming in. I've got used
Yeah.
to it, and when it goes
Sure.
quiet, you're like,
Yeah.
"Where's the work?"
What am I doing
So,
wrong?
yeah,
What?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Are they mad at me? Do they not want me anymore? So
Mm,
it's yeah, but it's only been recent, that I've done I've gone, I guess you could say, full time.
Yeah.
But I guess consider myself as a professional. Like, I guess in a way you should consider yourself a professional as soon as you start doing it,
Sure.
because because I very briefly I was in the mindset of like I'm a wannabe voice actor,
Mm,
and then someone was like, "No, you are a voice actor. You're not a wannabe voice actor. That
sure.
looks. No one's going to want to hire a wannabe. Just say
Yeah.
you're a
No,
voice actor."
no
It's
one's
like,
going to want to hire someone who's kind of
yeah,
dipping their toe.
I was trying to be humble, guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just one I was wondering was it on your profile it mentions also voice directing.
Yes.
You how when did that come
Oh,
about?
so that was last year. I did So there's a company. I won't say just in case, actually, in case it's
Sure.
NDA. But one of the companies I've worked with, like recording, they very kindly reached out and were like, we really like working with you. Would you be interested in doing some like directing on a game?
Mm,
Obviously, there's other directors on it because obviously
sure.
very much a beginner in it.
Yeah.
But they're like, how the studio works. Would you like to do? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to. So I worked with it was 3 actors on this game. It was mostly kind of like direct barks, kind of like over there, getting to
Right.
cover, and a lot of like breathing injury noises. But luckily,
Mm,
I like doing that. So yeah, so I worked on it. I think it was about 3 days in total. And yeah, we worked through kind of these different actors, putting them through their paces as well, because it's quite an intense game.
sure.
But I will say, like, there's so much more to think about when you're on the other side of the glass when you're
Mm,
directing, because you trust your actor to
of course, yeah.
deliver their own interpretation, but you've also got to be like, okay, if they're struggling with it, or you can think of a way it will fit the game better, you've got to be able to like give that
Mm,
advice clearly,
sure.
because everyone has their own directing style. I prefer to be told things very simply, so I
Hmm.
tend to tell people things quite simply. And it was an amazing experience. I'd definitely like to go into directing more down the
Yeah.
line, for sure, if people give me the experience. But again, it's just waiting for the opening. But to have the experience is absolutely fantastic, because I
Yeah.
think it really gives you perspective overall about how. Because when you're recording, like the idea of a voice actor, like people tend to think it's the voice actor doing all the work. And it's like, no,
Mm,
like in the room you've got like, you can have the script writer and the
mhm,
writer, you've got
yeah.
the director, you've got the sound engineer who's making sure everything sounds perfect. It's more of a collaboration than just this voice actor did this amazing performance and they deserve all the awards for it. It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
it's 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 a massive collaboration and team process. And if
Mhm,
everyone's like on the same wavelength, then that's when you really get like the good
yeah.
kind of experiences. Yeah.
Mm. I was just wondering, as someone who's now, you've got experience on both sides of the glass, like you said.
Yes.
I was just wondering what for you, you said obviously you like things explained to you simply. What's the worst thing a director could do for you?
Say to me, well, one of them is just try it again. I'm like,
What
what
does that mean?
does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also when they'll be like, oh, could you imagine make it a bit more purple? You're like,
Mhm.
what does that mean? Yeah, you got it, mate. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about, because you have different directors involved. You've got theater directors who do voice directing. You've
Mm.
got and it depends on who you work well. There's directors who I work with well, others not so well. Not because they're difficult to work with, I just don't. How they explain things doesn't always go in the way, and I'm
Yeah.
always like, oh. So I think, but also it's kind of, I think your job to kind of make it obvious to the director how you can be directed, and then once that
Sure.
clicks, it goes well. But yeah, it's kind of, I think, if the if someone sits and spends about 5 minutes explaining how to deliver one line to you, I
Yeah.
would have checked out after about 20
Sure.
seconds, 10
Sure.
seconds, if that, because it's like, after a while you get into your head and you're like,
Mm.
so what do you want me to say? Like
Yeah.
it's about, but it's also your job to kind of know the context. It's about asking questions and understanding what kind of
Sure.
experience it is.
Sure.
But if like you over explain with big words and people throw big words about, and then I have to be like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like yeah. So it's kind of like, just don't say weird suggestions like
Mm.
make it orange.
Sure. Yeah.
Imagine it covered in tar. I'm like,
Fantastic. Great. Yeah. I guess I'll say it more tarry then.
yeah, got any tar in you, mate?
Mm.
Yeah.
I was wondering how because I've listening to other kind of actors talk about it. How would you feel if Because I've heard some actors that really hate the idea of a
Hmm.
director saying, "Say it like this."
Line reading.
I'm
Yeah.
reading.
Well, I don't mind a line read if, like, say we've tried a line out a few times and we're just
Mhm.
not getting it, and like you just on your seventh take and you're like,
Cool.
flip. Right. Oh, sorry about that.
All
Someone's
right.
drilling the wall next to him.
Mm.
Hopefully that's just once. I'm gonna move rooms. Hold on.
No
Yeah.
problem. No problem.
So line reads. It's again, like, if the director for every line is going like, say it like this, say it like this. It's like,
Mm.
who's doing the
Yeah,
who's
so
doing the job?
why am I here?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I've heard people who've had sessions with people who have done that, and I think in my personal experience, unless I'm not getting what you want, it doesn't mean that's the best way to do it. But if the director
Mhm.
wants it that way, I'm not, in the position to be like, you're wrong. So
Sure.
yeah, I think if it's a situation where like I'm just not getting what the director's saying, then I'll be like, you're welcome to, because I understand it's a very, some actors are like they do not like it
Sure.
whatsoever. But I'd rather save us time by just being like,
Mm.
just let me know how you're saying, because sometimes you go, I know what you mean. I mean, like, oh, sorry, I didn't click,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah. So
Sure.
that's my personal opinion on it.
Sure. And just to kind of another aspect of it, obviously you've got a mocap demo.
Yes, yes.
How much of that have you done, and just what is that experience like, just first of all?
Yeah, it's so in terms of motion capture, I've worked on two things. Yeah, definitely two things. I did Baldur's Gate 3
Hmm.
and Horizon Call of the Mountain, which were both, really fantastic experiences.
Yeah.
It's a whole, like, I mean, all acting is acting, but with motion capture, you've obviously got to be more aware of your movements. There's almost a theatrical
Hmm.
element to it, because it depends again on what kind of performance the directors want
Sure.
from you. Excuse me. And when you're voice acting, you're in a booth, you can't be seen, so you can be doing all this, going, I'm
Yeah,
feeling
yeah, yeah.
this, And in mocap, it's like you're holding a gun to someone, so you can't be like, listen here. You've got
Yeah,
to be like,
yeah.
you can like give that big performance without really, compromising how you're moving.
Mm.
And with Baldur's Gate, there wasn't any walking or locomotion, as it's called in it, but it was about finding the right stance and then,
Hmm.
like, moving your arms and whatnot. But with Horizon, it was a lot more, because I was meant to be, paddle, rowing a
Sure,
boat, turning
sure.
around, talking, standing up, pushing up a rock. So you've got to kind of rehearse all your movements as well. And like, if you are, I say, not a physically familiar performers and you're not
Sure.
amazing with your movements, it's quite challenging. So yeah,
Mm.
I've done two things, but I'm very grateful to have, had an opportunity to
Yeah,
work in it at all. So
sure, sure. Is it something you'd want to do more of in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I'd never turned down the opportunity to do
Sure.
mocap. I do audition for things that are mocap, but I'm well aware there are actors out there who either
Sure.
physically suit the character
Mm.
more, or they just move better, or they just right. Yeah, but because like I said, like, one thing with acting is like, odds are there's going to be about a short list of 20 people for one role, and ultimately it's got to go to someone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can be good enough for the role, but someone else just got it instead, for
Mm.
whatever reason. You could be the top of the list. You never
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah.
But like, yeah.
Also, just to go back to Horizon, was
Yes.
the character you play, was it then modeled on your
Yes.
likeness?
Yes, it was. Yeah, we
And
did a fate.
did you know that was the case going in, or was that
I didn't initially, because we recorded it in Sweden, which was a
okay?
massive, because the story was I come across the audition. I got sent the audition, and at the time I was a postman, and I was
Mm.
doing the rounds and whatnot. And I had to record the audition because it was like, we need it in today. And I was like, I'm at
Yeah.
work all day, so I was recording the lines in people's alleys between the
Oh,
houses as I was
okay.
posting, and then I sent it off and was like, I'm not going to hear back about that.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, I was doing like some extra time, and I got an email saying, "Can you be in Sweden tomorrow?" I was like, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
calling in sick." Yeah, so
Mm.
and yeah, so we went to Sweden, and they were like, by the way, just let you know, your face is going to be, captured. And I was like, just the movements? Like, no, we're gonna do a full facial scan of you. And that experience alone was amazing. You're basically in this like massive like ball, like Cerebro from
Mhm.
X-Men,
Yeah.
and it's all cameras, like all these fancy cameras, and you sit there, in a vest, clean shaven, hair all slicked back, and they're like, pull it, and there's like a little iPad, and it's like, do this expression. So you're like, it's just like that for like. Now,
Yeah.
apparently, it can take up to 4 hours, but apparently, I did it in like an hour and a half, which was apparently
Nice.
quite good. So I was like,
Nice.
oh, okay. But it's because I like to, do faces, I
Hmm.
guess that helped. But yeah, it was again, it's still surreal seeing my
Yeah.
face
I was
on
going to say
on
how
iPad.
having, obviously heard your variations of your voice coming out of a character, is it unsettling to see it be like, oh, that's my face as well? That,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. It because like it's just so surreal. Like
Mm,
I had this thing with characters. Like I look at it when it's me, and I'm like, it's not me. I'm looking at it like, so that's cool.
mm.
I forget that it's actually me who's done it. And then, like you see that your character get eaten by a robotic alligator, and you're like, my God, I've just seen myself
See
die.
myself get devoured.
It's just
It's like,
you don't come back from that, Sam.
no,
You don't
no,
come
that's
back
what
from that.
that would look like if that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Okay.
At least I'm prepared.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I was what was it? Oh, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was going to say was one thing I'm interested in is when it becomes a profession,
Yeah,
hearing kind of other professional voice actors talk about it. There are kind of the roles that you're incredibly passionate about getting, and it's the art of the acting, and it's I can't believe I'm part of this project.
yeah.
And there are roles where it's like I need to pay bills. Is that kind of where more like commercial work comes
Well,
in?
yeah,
Or is
well,
it just
commercials pay basically more than video game voice acting, at least booth work, which most it's where like you can get more recognition from video game work, but you
sure?
can get more money through
Hmm.
commercial work. But it's but I'd say like I like to treat every job equally, even if it is like one's really big, because either way, I'm just grateful to be involved
Yeah.
in anything, But there are the jobs where it's kind of like, okay, like when you're doing it, you're like, clearly the client is just getting voice acting because they need it. They're not too
Sure.
fussed about, you
Yeah.
know, how it, ultimately how it sounds.
Mm.
So yeah, I guess you can see them as kind of like the I've got to get paid, because
Sure.
like
Sure.
some mobile games, like you'll do it and you'll never hear back. You'll never
Mhm.
know it's in the game. You'll never get like
Yeah.
you just, So I guess you could see them as like the I've got to get money,
Sure.
but job is a job, But
Yeah. Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
unless it's like obviously you've got the strikes now, so you have to turn down auditions that are like union work from the
Yeah.
US because it depends. It's very murky, So it's yeah.
Say that how that must be kind of difficult to navigate having it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is because like obviously we're not unionized in the UK, so
Mm.
technically we have no allegiance to following those rules, but it's kind of like the decent thing, but
Yeah.
also you need money,
Mm.
so I think it's a case of being like, am I replacing someone or am I just
Sure.
going in entirely, so
Yeah.
it's about knowing exactly what you are applying for,
Mm.
so yeah, but still difficult and should be
Sure.
resolved hopefully sooner than
Yeah.
later.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I was just going back to Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
I was just wondering how it because you're talking about the audition process,
Yes.
because you're scattered all across Baldur's Gate. So
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was it kind of voice reels for 20 odd characters that you sent, or would it be kind of like, you know, not
Yeah.
dumb it down, but like while you're here,
Yeah.
could you be a
So
cat?
yeah, it was so I thought I'd missed the boat on Baldur's Gate because
Okay.
it had started essentially recording more or less when I started voice acting. So I never ever expected to have a chance in it. And
Mm.
I very much did come in last minute. Most of my characters are in Act 3. And
Hmm.
obviously that's the last part of the game. So that's where,
Yeah.
I joined in. But I applied to be the voice of the Dream Guardian, who is a character who kind of speaks to your character, and they
Yeah.
eventually turn out to be someone else. And I also applied for a voice of an Illithid, a Mind Flayer. I'm not sure which one it was, but I know I went in way too monstrous for it. Because in the game they're like,
Right.
"Yes, I am
The
a
very soft.
Mind Flayer," and I
Yeah.
was like, "I am a Mind Flayer,"
Which is a fair deduction
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it's yeah,
Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you. And so I got like a message saying they want you to be in Baldur's Gate. I was like, oh man, incredible. who has, and they're like about 20 NPCs. I was like, yeah, I mean, I didn't apply for them, but I'll take it,
Sure.
and then yeah, that was more or less the case. Like, I applied for a game recently, which I start recording soon, and I applied for, like, the set of characters, and then got one that wasn't even on there. So
Okay.
sometimes I'm guessing like there's minor characters they'll usually give to the actors anyway. But if like you don't work out there, they can give you that. It's just
Sure.
it's nice. It's nice to be thought about.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it ever the case where you send off the reel and you come in, but then it's also like a in the room audition, or is that rare?
No, you're absolutely right. Like, odds are, yeah, it's happened a few. Like I did. So obviously you can get like in studio auditions where you just called in just to audition. One project I did, I think it was Warhammer. So I was doing the lines for it, and I at the same time I applied to be the voice of the Poxwalker, like
Mhm.
plague undead characters, and that's obviously a lot of gagging and like
Yeah.
unpleasant noises. And they were like, "Oh, do you want to do some like lines in like a Welsh accent?" And I recorded it there and then in the room, and I thought nothing of it. And then about 2 years later, they were like, "Oh, do you want to come in and do that Welsh character you recorded for us like 2 years ago?" I was like, "Yeah,"
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Who were they? Yeah.
yeah, but also it's true. Like you'll have like if the directors are nice enough, they'll say, there's something coming up I really want you to apply for, because you shouldn't. I mean, me personally, I don't expect to be given the job. I
Mhm.
always expect to
Mhm.
apply for it because
Sure.
it's very assumptuous to be like, yeah, just give me the job. There's some voice actors who are big enough now to just be offered the
Yeah.
work now.
Yeah.
And they talk about it and everyone's like, what? So
Yeah.
and so yeah, it's happened a few times. But it's about just making sure, I guess, you were the right person for the role as well.
Mm. And I was wondering because you talked about obviously imposter syndrome
Yes.
flaring up, but before auditions and when you're kind of preparing to do a reel, do you still get nervous? Do you still get
Yeah.
yeah?
Most sessions I go to, I'm incredibly nervous beforehand, especially when it's either like a new place I've not worked before, or if it's a new character
Mhm.
entirely, because I want to go in and do a good job, and
Sure.
not have a slow start and be like, oh, am I the right person for this? But no, it's true. Like auditions, especially, like I've stopped myself from looking over the audition until I'm actually going to do it.
Sure.
Like not like a day before. Cool, I've got an idea, do it tomorrow, because then I'll spend the
Yeah.
entire day thinking, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? And usually you have to trust your, I guess, your creative brain to deliver what is the
Yeah.
right thing there and then.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was very, it kicks in a lot. Like it's like it can take on many forms, like semi panic attacks sometimes. Like you're there going, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna be fine. And then you go into the room, it goes completely. You're into the
Sure.
job, you're fine, it's gone. But I think anticipation is the big thing. It's the big
Mm.
thing of anticipating how it's going to go, making sure you do a good job, and just. But I put it down to it's because I care. It's not because like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
capable of doing it. It's just like I really want to do a good job. I'm
Sure.
getting really wound up about
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I was I just to pivot a bit, but I was
yeah,
wondering because it did come up in the BBC article about how you look at like Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Metaphor recently, which
yeah,
you were also in.
yes,
Um, that it feels like it's becoming much more common to hear a lot of regional British
yeah.
accents. And I was just wondering kind of if you have any inkling as to one you think that might be, and also just as an actor, is that, you're like, great, there's more variation.
Yeah. I so the general accent for fantasy is usually RP. Yes, we
Yeah.
sound like this. Hello there. I think, what like you said, it adds more flavor. It kind of makes the world bigger, because if
Mm.
your game is set in one province in a world of,
Yeah.
you're not going to have all the same accent. It's
No.
just natural. So it's nice to see, like with Yin Tiger and Wukong, most of the characters in the game are kind of, southern sounding. But the Yin Tiger, they said he'd come from a faraway land
Mm.
to the area, so they wanted something a bit more different. And I think it's nice as well, because I'm very much an advocate for people of all backgrounds to be given opportunities, no matter your accent, how you
Mhm.
sound. I think it can potentially give someone who's starting out a position if they have the opportunity to book a role because they just so happen to have this
Yeah.
certain kind of accent, because just because I mean my Brummie accent isn't very strong. I have to turn it on for stuff. It comes through every now and again. I've just never really picked it up very well. And I think if there's other people out there who have very strong like Scouse accents or like
Sure.
dark East Midlands,
Yeah.
that they have a chance. Like Elden Ring, like you said, is great for it. There's all kinds of accents in it.
Mm.
So I think it's only fair that in my mind equal
Yeah.
opportunities, is
Yeah.
what it is.
Well, I know in Metaphor there are two pretty major characters who are Scouse, and
It's
it's like
great.
I genuinely was like don't think I've heard that before
No,
in a
because
game, and it's yeah.
yeah, the Scouse accent again, it does get ridiculed a bit because of how it
Mm.
sounds. It's like it's just another accent though.
Yeah.
It's why can't it be the
Yeah.
main a pivotal accent in the game?
Mm.
So no, I completely agree. I'm just glad to see more exposure to more accents as well because
Yeah. Yeah.
the world deserves to see it.
Mm. Yeah. I was just wondering, alongside kind of that as a change in the 7, 8 years you've been in the industry, are there any other changes that you've noticed? Any kind of shifts?
Yeah, well, like one thing is definitely the accent thing you mentioned. There's a lot more call for like more regional accents, but also it's big thing is AI, obviously.
Sure.
There's been a big shift into companies either using it
Mm.
and then that you miss out on opportunities there, especially in like corporate work. You're seeing a lot of people get the jobs they've had for years consistently just drop now because they've got AI
Mm.
to do it. And also, it's a big part of new contract clauses now, just to reassure the actor that no AI will be used on your voice, or AI will be used on your voice to create an effect. That's it.
Right.
No, no
Sure.
generative AI, so to speak. And also, I think it's a big shift as well. Is obviously seeing like more divisive characters. Like they're looking for more real slash, like obviously a big pull into LGBT characters, and
Hmm.
also making sure that that it's represented correctly because obviously they want someone who is of that orientation.
Yeah.
So a few years ago you could apply for any role no matter what it was, but now it's making sure because if you apply for a role and say, yeah, I'm part of that, and you basically lie about it,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes you look bad. So it's about respecting kind of what the developer wants and just accepting the loss because at the end of
Yeah.
the day, just because it's not you doesn't mean, there'll be another thing to come up,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think inclusion is a big thing to
Mhm.
see as well. But it's good to see because I'm seeing people who are really talented
Yeah.
get more opportunities.
Yeah.
So
I was just wondering, just kind of moving forward,
yes.
do you set yourself kind of goals or targets, or is it kind of more as it comes?
It's yeah, I'm more of an as it comes kind of person. In my head, it's like I just hope to keep working this year. I just hope
Sure.
to keep, getting,
Yeah.
inboxes and stuff saying that because I think like the fact that I'm still doing it is incredible to me.
Hmm.
And if I can just keep getting more work and work more than I have before, then incredible. Like it's not always going to be that way, but I think looking back at what I've done so far, it's like wow, like as if that happened.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I can 'cause I am proud of what I've done. I won't say it
Of
often
course.
because it feels way too egocentric, even though it's not.
That's the thing.
But
It's awful, isn't it, when
yeah,
when people feel like being like, I'm proud of that, and people are
yeah,
like, well, that feels a bit.
yeah. Like it feels like I'm bragging too much about it. I mean, I am proud of it, and like I'm the first person in the world to like forget what I've
Mm.
done, and not take time to be like, you actually did something really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking about where's the next job. I
Sure.
need to keep earning money. I need to keep a roof over my head, But it's I think yeah, ultimately more opportunities to being, everything really. 'Cause that's what I want to be. I just want to be involved or at least apply for as much as I
Sure.
possibly can.
Sure.
So I'm hoping down the line if I can build a good enough relationship with other studios and I can impress people with what I've done so far, they'll hopefully,
Mm.
consider me for not to get the job, but to at least apply for the job
Yeah.
because if you
Yeah.
apply for it, you have a chance of getting it, which is
Mm.
is fantastic. So yeah, get more work.
Yeah. Always a good goal.
Yeah,
Always
yeah,
a good
exactly.
goal. Yeah. And I think really, I mean, just I think a couple smaller kind of more general questions
Yeah.
just to kind of um, round it out. Thank you so much for the time.
No, thank you, man. It's
Um,
been great.
Um, I was just wondering if there were any. I know you said kind of take it as it comes, and this is probably a question you do get asked a lot. But if there was like a franchise or a developer that you would want to work with, is there kind
Oh.
of one
The-
that in your mind?
Absolutely. Like I'd love to be in a From Software, kind of
Yeah.
a Souls game or like
Hmm.
a Elden Ring. That would be, really, really fun. In terms of like in the US, I think being part of a Naughty Dog game would be
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
massive. Like back to FromSoft, love Bloodborne. So if they did another Bloodborne game, I'd be like,
Mhm.
please get me in
Please,
this,
please.
please, please. So, and but yeah, like obviously Naughty Dog games I've played for years and loved every single one of them. So yeah, being something of that magnitude would be incredible. And also, I think I'd love to like branch out into like in America, anime is obviously mostly recorded over there.
I
But
was gonna ask about
yeah,
anime because apparently
yeah,
it is hard because
yeah, it's very intense.
yeah,
I thought Warhammer was bad.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of something I'd love to do more, but in the UK, it's a lot less. I think
Mhm.
it's seeping in a bit, but it's obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to do something like that as well. But yeah, and one more thing, if they ever did like another medieval game, I would be all over
Sure.
that as well.
Yeah.
That as well,
Yeah.
yeah. That's my big three.
Nice. That's a good three. That's a good
Thank you
three.
very much. Thank you.
And I was just wondering if there are any, as an actor, if there are any performances in games or just outside of that that you kind of you hold up as being like that's a pretty special performance like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's a big question. Let me think now. There's so many that like I hold dear to myself.
Yeah.
Obviously you think about like people who've earned the awards as well. There's so many good like right, a big one when I was younger, like and it went on to inspire my Warhammer character was Clancy Brown as Baron Praxis in Jack 2. Like he just had this such like gravitas to him, this
Mm.
deep booming voice that I absolutely, just it just really like pulled me in. And yeah, that was what I always wanted to mimic. But also I think like a gold standard performance, like in a game, is you see like Ashley Johnson as Ellie in The Last of Us.
Sure.
It's
Of
really,
course.
fantastic performance. But also like in smaller games as well, because you see these big games and you think,
Mm.
wow, this is incredible. And then you've got like smaller games, more character driven games like what's it called? I forgot what it's called now. My brain's gone. I'm sorry. Uh, uh it's gone. I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll stick with Ashley Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. It's a good pull.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. My
Yeah.
brain's just absolutely frazzled out.
No problem at all. I think really just kind of the last one I was curious about is on your YouTube channel, you yourself have done interviews with actors
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, is that just from a case of apart from, obviously being involved in it and being an actor, is there just kind of is it always wanting to kind of absorb information, learn more, give other performers a platform, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like because there's so many lovely people you work with, and like yeah, that's obviously I've become friends with these people, but it's about seeing their experiences so far, how they got to where they are, what they love doing about it, but also yeah, I think that's what it is. It's about letting them get themselves. I mean, I don't have a massive platform, but
Sure.
if anyone comes across it and enjoys it, that's
Mm.
ultimately all I want. I know I do want to do many, many more of those because there's so many people I'd love to talk to. But it's yeah, I think it's just about letting everyone kind of speak about what they've done, what they hope to do, and like just about their lives really, because
Yeah.
everyone's they say it's again cliche, everyone's journey is different, but it's very
Mhm.
true. Like some people start very late in life, other people start very young.
Mhm.
Like with me again, you hold about the whole not going to drama school. That's a big part of my working class actor kind of thing. That's very much part of mine. So. I'm trying to think of another actor now for performance in the game. It's really bothering me. No, it's gone. It's gone. I'm so sorry, Sam. I'm
All
so
right, that's all
sorry.
right. And I
Oh,
think I guess just last question because I've taken plenty of your time.
oh, thank
Um
you. Sorry, man.
um I was just wondering is kind of you talk about obviously not going to drama school.
Yeah,
Do you ever is there ever a part of you that wishes that you did or
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah?
because I'm like, would I be doing better if I went to
Well,
drama
I guess
school?
there's that kind
But
of.
then it's like I could be doing worse if I went to
Hmm,
drama school.
yeah,
It's yeah, it's something that plays from my mind, but also then I look at what I've done and I'm like, clearly something's going well,
yeah.
you know. So
You figured something out. Yeah,
yes, so I think it's kind of like it's that it's like double-edged sword. It's like could have
sure.
gone, could have been better off, but also
Mhm.
didn't go, doing okay, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's something that goes from my mind, but also I guess in a way it's just I'm very
yeah,
lucky in a way, privileged to be able to do it without
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Incredible. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much for your time.
No, mate. Thank you, Sam. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And I guess, all the best. Hope it keeps going
Thank
as
you.
well as it has been.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Thank you so much.
No worries, mate. Best of luck with the course and everything as well. I hope it goes
Cheers.
well.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Take care, Sam. See you
Bye
later.
now. Thank you.
Bye.